Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Today is Friday, the 18th of July, 2025. Here we are at Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help our students and interested people on their journey through this life. Boom, booyah. There we go. No big deal, right? No, it is a big deal. It's the whole point of things. Is how do we get through this life in the best possible way? Today could be the historic first day at Lava Gel. We've been hoping it was going to start on Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday. Now today it looks like it's going to start today, this afternoon. So kudos to the Lava Gel people and to the Connectix people. We're going to make it happen. Have a busy day though. 10 o'clock, TPUSA. 9 o'clock, RR Beyond, I don't know, Mind Body Solutions. Let's just say I'm the CHW for a bunch of guys who want to get back on track, meaning to life, etc., etc. Okay, so today is day five in week number 1. Week 1, day 5, neuroscience-oriented approach to success. What does that mean? Let's ponder that for a second. As we say, good morning, Miss Trinkle, wherever you are. Bonk. I don't know what bonk means. It just kind of sounds good. I don't know why I go bonk. I don't know why I do that. I think it's kind of like Bobo or Kiki, right? We know what the shape looks like. If we see two shapes, we know which one is Bobo and which one is Kiki. What? What is this guy talking about? Okay, back to the thing. We have a really big show today, people. Day 5, week 1. This is our overview and orientation of what we're doing. We're trying to answer 2 questions. Who am I? Why do I behave the way I am? And the who am I is not a psychological type question. It's not like, who am I? No, it's like, who am I in terms of a cellular entity that makes up this body that I have, that some functions in my brain. For example, our feelings come from the release of chemicals in our body. They're chemically induced. Huh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's who you are. You're a chemically induced thing. You have, I don't know, 100 trillion cells in your body. How many of them know who you are? And how many care? None. Well, how does this thing come together, this collection of 100 trillion cells that don't know each other? What about the bacteria, which is 10 times more? We have 10 times more bacteria than we have non-bacteria. There's a cloud of bacteria around us as we're walking. It's wafting off of us. Who am I? What is this creature, this body that I am? That's what we mean by who am I on a neuroscience level, a atoms, not quantum level, but on a, what is this, the nature of this body? Not the philosophical, who am I? No, not that. This is who am I? If I know the capabilities or the extent of what my physical body, what my mind, what my emotions are able to do, if I know the parameters, then I have the ability to work effectively within those parameters, use them to the best. We have some people who have no ability but think they have ability. And when you try to explain to them the limits of their ability, they don't agree. And then when they tap out, they don't really get, they can't connect the two things. So in other words, they will never make real progress because they don't think they need to change because they think they're already at the top. Where compared to people who are at the top, it's like you're not even on the scale. And you think you're at the top of the scale, you're not even on the scale. So who am I? And why do I behave the way I do? Meaning, if you release certain chemicals into my system, I will feel a certain way, whether I want to or not. So I behave based upon certain events. All right, that's week one, summary of week one. And today the TED Talk is Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl. Okay, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, but let's move on to what do we got here? Advice from an 80-year-old. Remember that 80% of the success in any job is based upon your ability to deal with people. And the other 40% is everything else. Wait a second, you're saying, wait a second. What did he just say? 80% of the success of any job is based upon your ability to deal with people, and 40% is everything else? What? That's a Yogi Berra-ism. Okay, that's just to get you to focus and pay attention here what's being said. 80% is dealing with people. And more than 60% is non-verbal communication. So 80% is dealing with people, and most of that is non-verbal. Makes you want to go, Let's see, Darren Hardy. That was a good one, but I was in the shower, so I don't remember any of it. I just remember it was good. The one thing billionaires never do. It's in here. So if I started listening to a few parts, oh, I remember that. I remember that. So it's in there. I just can't recall it. Next. Okay, Seth Godin. Tasks and projects. Boy, another long one. So yesterday, or I think maybe it was before that, but Seth Godin started distinguishing the difference between tasks and projects and being project-oriented, not task-oriented. So let's see what he says here today. Tasks and projects. School is the training ground for task-based thinking. Will this be on the test? You finish your homework when you finish your homework, and then you can go out and play. That was the story of my life. This is one reason educators are flummoxed by ChatGPT. It upsets the calibrated balance of effort in the task of homework and essays. The essay was not the point, the effort was. Yeah, that's still true today. Schooling is organized this way because most industrial work is. Cottage industries, piecework, and many freelancers work on tasks. If tech helps you finish your task faster, the time you saved is yours. Take the rest of the day off, at least until the boss recalibrates the task expectations. But important work is project work. Projects have component tasks associated with them, but they all contribute to something bigger, something that feels unlimited. Serving the next customer at McDonald's is a task, but building the brand into a worldwide chain is a project. Cooking spaghetti is a task, but hospitality is a project. Projects seek to do something that might feel unsurmountable, and projects often have competition. If you finish some tasks with time to spare, put that productivity to work doing something else that serves the customer. If you don't, we might not get another chance because someone else will. Sometimes people say, they're not paying me enough to care. What they mean is that the industrialist has chosen them to do tasks, and going beyond tasks isn't part of the deal. On the other hand, when we sign up for a project, the terms of the deal have to be deeper and more human than trading effort for money. Art is a project. Connection, community building, counseling, all of these are projects. When our work is project focused, we're not a cog in a vast machine. Instead, we're a contributor with agency, someone who's working with and for the agenda we've agreed to. Bad bosses try to have it both ways. They're stingy with agency, authority, and compensation, and insatiable when it comes to effort. But smart leaders understand that given the chance, most of us would love the chance to be seen, to contribute, and to be part of something. Go find a project. Okay, so we need to change our world, Larry David Flip, change our world so we see the project that the task is associated with. We focus on the project and do the tasks in order to accomplish the project or further the project. Okay, that one takes a bit more reading because it's long. We have to ponder each word. Let's see if there's anything else. Jordan Peterson, be a monster. Don't be a rabbit cowering in the corner. If you're going to be a rabbit in the corner, be a rabbit with fangs. Okay, so he says you need to be a monster. You need to have a sword, but keep it sheathed. Have a sword and know how to use the sword. Be willing to use the sword, but keep it sheathed. So you only use it if you absolutely have to. All right. Are we ready for Viktor Frankl? Viktor Frankl is a big name, and he almost got it right. He almost got it. He really did a good job doing this, but there's over here he didn't know about, and that is because he did not see Jesus as the Messiah. So Viktor Frankl was I think a psychiatrist, but he might have been a psychologist in Nazi Germany, a Jew who could have escaped, but his family couldn't go. So he ended up going to the concentration camps and was there for about 3 years. He survived. His wife and parents did not. He was one of the great thinkers. What do they call it? The third school or something of Viennese school, something. Freud, Jung, Viktor Frankl. And, he's in the same arena as these big names. And he said, life is man's search for meaning. That's the name of the book he wrote after coming out of Auschwitz, based upon his school, which was logotherapy, called logotherapy. So the starting question, the video that we have today, Man's Search for Happiness, is based upon the idea that we can't control what happens around us. There's one thing we can always control, that is how we choose to respond. We always have that ability. And that was greatly tested in the concentration camps, where in effect, Viktor Frankl convinced himself it was the German army against him. They were trying to break him. And so he said, maybe to himself, maybe to other people, they can take everything from me, including my life, except for one thing: how I choose to respond, how I choose to react to what they're doing. They cannot control that. And they are trying to break me. So all I have to do is not let them break me. So you can think of in the morning, gets up, constant harassment, physical, corporal punishment, threats of death, cold, no food, starving, sack of bones people. At the end of the day, you get to return bone tired, so tired that the 2 small steps you have to walk up to get into your barracks takes your full strength, pulling on the door jamb to get in, and then totally beat, totally exhausted. But then when you get inside, the arms go like this. Yes, I won. Another day they did not defeat me. Surge of energy, neurotransmitters, hormones being released through our system, oxytocin, serotonin, a little bit of dopamine in there, and one more day, maybe a little bit of endorphins. And I made it through another day without them. Not just, I can't control them killing me, but I can control them beating my mind. Or another event where he's out working and he thinks of, what if I get a little extra little piece of sausage in my gruel, my brothy, my watery, rotten cabbage soup, my 1,000 calories per day, as I'm burning off 3,000 calories. What if I get just a small piece of sausage? What do I do with it? Do I eat it? Do I save it? Do I trade it? If I trade it, what do I trade it for? Can I trade it for a cigarette where I can maybe trade that or smoke it? How about a piece of wire to use as a lace or a clasp on my shoe because my laces are broken or gone? What should I do with that? Oh man, it's so much to think about. And if I don't get it, it's so disappointing. So he noticed that even though something good could possibly happen to him, there was the chance that something good can happen. All of the different things, the choices that follow from that good thing happening, got him upset or depressed or sad. It didn't make him feel good thinking about, what if I get a piece of sausage? If I get a piece of sausage, there's all these other decisions that I have to make. And it's just so hard. I'm going to give up hope. He could see that coming. Or one other time that may have led to the epiphany or the aha, now I can piece it together moment, where he's daydreaming, thinking about a point of time in the future when he's giving a lecture, dressed in a tuxedo behind a podium, out in the audience, people in tuxedos sitting in leather-bound chairs, comfortably, intently listening to him talk about what his experience was like. Which leads to the Nietzsche, he who has a why can bear almost any how idea. So Viktor Frankl then kind of pieced all of this stuff together where everybody in the camps was in the same situation. Some people lived and some people died. Why did they die? Well, they got beaten to death, they got sick, they whatever. Sent to the ovens, sent to the showers, and then burned. Why did some people die? Well, that was pretty obvious. Why did some people live? How is it that some people lived? And then he kind of came to, if you have a why, if you can think into the future, of seeing yourself into the future, you can do it. But if you give up, you get sick or you get beaten to death. You have to have hope. Hope. And there were some other observations which we will talk about tomorrow because we're going to watch Viktor Frankl again. And so we'll leave it with, we are oriented to ask, what is the meaning of life? What is God's plan? What does God want from me? Viktor Frankl turned it the other way and said, no. You don't ask life, what is the purpose of life? You don't say to God, what is your plan for me, God? It's the other way. Life asks you, what is the meaning of your life? And you have to come up with an answer for it. And that is the search for meaning. Okay, Shivas and Shalom. It's Friday, people. Peace and Shalom. No. Scotch and peace. Shivas and Shalom. Scotch and peace, everyone. But somebody said to me, you have to say Shalom, Shalom. Okay. Shivas, Shivas, Shalom, Shalom. Shimmy, shimmy, cocoa pop. All right. And with that, hasta la vista, baby.